Hi, my name is Heather, and I have Laureen here with me. So I have gotten a ton of questions on my YouTube and my website about how to market your book. Laureen, who's in my creativity club, has had a ton of success with selling her book. So I thought it would be really fun to have her on here and do like a little discussion. So, Laureen, do you want to introduce yourself and your books?
Sure. Hi, I'm Laureen Donato, and as Heather said, I'm part of her creativity group, and I have written two books. The first one is Related by Love, and that one came about because my granddaughter realized we weren't biologically related when she was about 8, and I told her that we were related by love. So that's how this journey began. And my second book is Joey's First Day of Kindergarten. And that I wrote 30 years ago on the night of my son Joe's first day of kindergarten. And I waited until I found Heather's videos so that I could learn how to do it in Canva because I wanted to have control over the pictures and I wanted to do them myself, but I needed some help with that and with the whole KDP process. So until I found Heather, I would just became overwhelmed.
And by the way, this book, I have a series of it on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't seen that, then you should watch that because it shows the whole process of how I created the pictures for Laureen for that book.
Yes. So those are my books.
All right, so I wanted to start out by just talking about what has worked for you as far as online sales versus in-person sales.
Online sales are very slow. I think there are so many books on Amazon that for someone to actually find your particular book is like a needle in a haystack. So I would say it was a lot of friends and family who ordered at the beginning. And so online sales are slow, but I have had more success with actually going to stores and local shops and just selling them to them.
How do you approach a store? I know a lot of us are introverts and we don't like coming out of our shell and going and approaching the stores. Like, do you email or call or what?
I am one of those people also. I get very nervous walking into an establishment, and I'm not good at selling my own things. Like, I hate to take people's money. I'd rather just give them away. So that's never easy. But once you do it, you get a little bit more used to it. And I've found that everybody has always been very nice, and all they can say is no, or we'll get back to you. So when I go in, I bring the books with me so that they can see an actual copy of the book and what it looks like if the right person is there. So I ask for a manager or the owner or the buyer for the store, and then I show them if they're there, the books.
So you don't call first or email first?
I have not. I've found that when I have emailed, I have zero response from emails. So I find it's better to
Okay.
actually go in face to face and meet somebody. Then I have my one sheet with me. The one sheet has a little description of each of the books with the QR code. It tells about them, gives the wholesale price, the retail price, and my contact information. So I can leave them with that. And then if they're interested, they can reach out to me. They have my contact information.
So do you sell it outright to the stores or do they do consignment or has it been different for each store?
So far, I have just sold them outright to the stores.
And do they buy a lot at a time?
It varies. Some of them have bought 6 at a time, and I had one store that ordered 12 of each at a time. It's usually between 6 and 10, I would say.
Wow, that's awesome. But the only thing is there's only like a couple local bookstores where I live. So, I've thought about traveling outside of where I live in Erie. What do you think about that? Have you tried traveling at all?
I have definitely done that. I had a cousin who lives in another town. She's about half an hour away or so. She was in a store and she said, "Oh, I think your books would be great for this store." So I went to the store, brought my books, brought my one sheet, and they did end up ordering some. So I would say reach out to family and friends and ask them if they know of any bookstores or toy stores in their area that may want to carry it. Even gift shops.
I recently went to Chicago for vacation, and I was like, I should have brought my books and then approached a bookstore because that would have been a really nice way to like reach an area that I wouldn't usually be in, you know?
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
I plan to do that when we do some traveling this summer. Or I always have books with me in the car. I mean, I met people in stores shopping and somehow struck up a conversation and they're like, "Oh, where can I find your books?" I'm like, "Oh, well, I have one in the car."
See, that is such a good idea. I need to keep books in my car because, when I was in Chicago, there's a lot of times where I'm like, "Oh, I could have brought my book here and approached someone, but I didn't." So, yeah, if you just keep a supply in your car, then whenever you think of it, you can just go in and ask
And
someone.
you always have them. You never know if you're going to come across a store. You may say, "Oh, I want to check that place out."
And I think also you don't have to limit yourself to bookstores, right? If your book makes sense for other places, like I have a book about a platypus, so really I should be approaching the zoo, some nature centers, and that kind of thing. Yours, I bet it works really good in cute little gift shops and stuff, huh? Especially the Related by Love.
Yes, I have also brought it to hospital gift shops, because they
Oh,
carry, children's books because people go there to buy, a gift to bring to a child in the hospital. So,
oh,
and
that's a
they
good
usually have
idea.
really cute things. Hospital gift shops have some really cute and creative items that they sell. So I've brought
Yeah.
them there. Any place, you never know. I just did a reading at an art museum, and I wouldn't think of an
Oh,
art
wow.
museum, but they have a gift shop.
How cute. So, what was the reading like? Did you have a lot of kids there?
It was a big town Christmas weekend here this weekend. Altogether, they had over 500 people who
Oh,
came.
wow.
I There weren't that many for the reading that I did, but it was a good way to advertise my book. We decorated little Christmas trees and people got to see the book. I had coloring pages that I left for them, and even when I wasn't there, the coloring pages were available for the kids. And on the coloring pages, here's the one for Joey's first day of kindergarten and the Related by Love also.
Oh, that's cute.
So the QR code is there for them. So they had that. So it was good advertisement too.
I do think it's a good idea to give, like, a little something that they can take home in case they wanna buy the book later, or, like, if the kid takes home a coloring sheet and then the parent wants to buy it later, then they have that information there.
Yes. Everybody
Yeah.
loves a handout. And especially
Yeah.
some of the little kids that were wandering around that were too small to sit still got very excited that they got to take a coloring page home. And that's an inexpensive item that you can give out.
So, how did you end up doing that event? Was it because you had brought your book into the museum, and so they knew about you, so then they asked you to do the event?
I actually didn't bring it there. I was at a local library. We have a knitting group that meets there. So I was just talking to someone and she happened to work there. And she said,
Wow, that's
"Oh, I
awesome.
think your books would be great for the museum gift shop." So she gave me the name of the director and I contacted her.
Wow, that's amazing. So it really does matter if you go out and kind of network, but I feel like you shouldn't network for the sake of networking. It needs to be natural. Like you just happen to be in this knitting club and then the discussion came up. Have you ever done a book signing at a bookstore?
I have not done that.
I've done one of those and actually a couple of them. I did one that was specifically for my book, and that was awesome. And I definitely sold a lot of books that day. And then also, one of my local bookstores, they have these group book signings where they'll have multiple authors all with their books, and so many people show up. They'll buy a ton of books and have a stack of books, and they'll just go through and buy books from everyone. So I feel like also when you bring your books into these places, you're also exposing yourself to the events that the places will have. And then that's going to help you also to sell more books. One of the cool things is that some of the events that I've done, I actually was able to sell the books directly. And that's even better because the store doesn't take a cut from it. That's when you make the most money. If you do craft shows or anything where you're just selling it directly from yourself.
There are so many craft fairs in my area and I have not done any of them yet.
Oh,
But
yeah,
maybe
you gotta
maybe
get into
next
that.
year because you're right, that is probably the best way to get it out there. And there are a lot of local authors in my area, but I haven't found any groups. where they meet.
Oh.
And so that's something that I kind of want to reach out and try to contact some of these people.
Yeah, you could even create your own group. I'm in a local author group, and that's how I found out about some of the events that I've done. And they've given me tips for marketing my book. And yeah, it's so good. It's just so good to interact with people and kind of get ideas. And it sparks ideas for marketing and just for creating in general.
I did a reading at an elementary school for Joey's first day of kindergarten because it was actually the
Oh.
school that I worked at, the first school that I worked at.
Oh, that's
And it's the
nice.
school that he went to for kindergarten. And my younger son, Chris, went there also for preschool and kindergarten. So that was fun to do a reading there. And the name of their school is actually on the front of the book.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
they were very excited to see their school on the book. But local schools, I've donated some books to school libraries and to the local library.
Oh, that's such a good idea too. Yeah, because I feel like the kids might go to the library and find the book and read it and then want it, and ask their parent
Hopefully.
for it. Yeah. That's really cool though, because since your book is Joey's first day of kindergarten, you could probably just read that book like every year to the new kindergarten class.
Yes, to all the preschoolers.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
same thing when I went there, I had my coloring pages with the QR codes. I wasn't able to sell the books there, but they had the information if they wanted it. And the school sent it out in a newsletter to the parents with all the information.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Do you have any kind of online presence for your book? Like, do you have a website, an author page, or anything like that?
I do not have a website. I did start an Instagram page just for the books.
Oh, okay.
Or
How is that going?
Well, I don't really have a lot of followers because I just started it. So it's
Yeah.
basically just people that I know, but I made it a public page so somebody can look it up.
Yeah.
I also started a YouTube channel. I
Ooh.
figured that maybe I could just do some shorts,
Yeah.
and I just started that. And I had one person subscribe that I don't know.
Oh,
So
that's exciting. I'll definitely subscribe. But I have definitely found personally for me, and also when I sold my art and did a lot of craft shows in person, my Instagram, I've never really gotten a lot of sales from Instagram at all. I don't think I've gotten any from Instagram or Facebook for my book or for any of my art that I've done. It just hasn't really been beneficial for me. I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. I have not found much success selling online at all. I've tried the ads, I've tried social media. There's so much stuff out there online already, so many books already out there. How are you going to stand out? Whereas when you go in person, you're standing out right there because you're literally there. It's so much easier to stand out from the crowd by being there and being a real human.
exactly. Now, my best friend is a hairstylist, and she keeps my books out on her table
Oh,
and
wow.
her clients. She has sold a lot of them to clients, not just hers, but other stylists in the salon.
That's awesome because when I think of having my book in other shops, I'm like, which shops would fit the theme of the book? But some of them, for yours, it doesn't even fit the theme. It's hairstylist, yet it still sells.
You have grandmothers, you have young mothers,
Yeah,
and you have people. She had someone that said, "Oh, I have to go to a baby shower," and they said to bring a book. And she said, "Oh, well, here you go."
that's awesome. Yeah, that's really nice.
So she's done great for me. I told her she gets the award for number one seller.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but back to the online discussion. So I think it's good to at least have an author website so that if someone is looking for you online, then they can find your own author website, not just social media, but having your own website. Everything is organized how you want it, and you can have your books there and descriptions of your books and all that. Which, by the way, I have a tutorial on my YouTube channel of how to do this in Canva, and you can just do it for free. I do think that's a good idea, but I wouldn't expect to get a ton of sales from it. People aren't just going to randomly find your website and be like, oh, let me buy a book. But it's good to have it there so that people can look you up and you look professional and you have your own author
That's a great idea. I will look into doing
website.
that.
Okay, so I think that we pretty much covered everything. And if anyone has any questions for me or Laureen, you can put them in the comments. Thank you so much, Laureen. Oh, also, I do have a free marketing guide on my website. So if you go to my website and sign up for my mailing list, then you'll get my free marketing guide in your email. All right, is there anything else you want to add, Laureen?
No, just thank you very much for having me on your show.
All right. Have a good day. Stay creative.
Thanks, you as
All
well.
right.
Keep
Bye.
writing, everybody. Bye.